Hello everyone! Welcome back to another Friday and another casual champion review. I have not been looking forward to this one. I don't very much like Cassiopeia. Plus I thought this week I was going to be talking about Cho'Gath, which is a character I have a lot of connections to and I have quite a good amount to say about. But no, this week is Snake Lady, which I have some things to say about Snake Lady as well, but she's one of those characters that I often just forget even exists in the game. Like, nobody plays her visually. She's nothing special at all. So I don't know how it's going to go, but regardless, Snake Lady. Oh my god. That was amazing. You know what else is amazing? Excellent segue this time. I think fan art section. Yes, look at them. So many snakes. A lot of snakes. I don't know what I expected from a fan art section for Cassiopeia, to be honest. But either way, beautiful work. As always. Love it. I feel like now I have to try and guess what people are going to do for fan art section half time. Like, are they going to use Nikki Girl? Are they going to use Nikki Man? Are they going to do something like, what are you guys going to do for Cho'Gath next week? I am very excited to see how the hell Cho'Gath turns out. But we'll leave that for next time. So Cassiopeia, like I said, she's kind of a nothing character. She's been left in the lore for a while and is doing pretty much nothing. Although she did have the benefit of having a short story. A lot of champions don't have that luxury. But who is Cassiopeia? Well, Cassiopeia du Couteau is her full name. And if that name sounds familiar, that is because that is also Katarina's last name. She is Katarina's biological younger sister. By extension, Talon's brother, or no, wait, Talon's the brother, adopted brother. They don't really like each other. Also, Zeri Mid, I just realized, what? And while in the early stages of life, Cassiopeia's father very much favored Katarina. Her mother favored Cassiopeia. And along her life, it was revealed that her mother was actually a part of the secret underground organization in Noxus called the Black Rose, including champions like LeBlanc and Vladimir and such. And so under the tutelage of her mother, she's raised to become kind of a spy for the Black Rose, and a very beautiful woman at that. It's very emphasized that she grew up and was beautiful. She used her looks and her intelligence to get anything she wanted. That was how she got around, how she got things done, how she accomplished missions, was that she was beautiful and also intelligent. Though they really emphasize the beauty because that comes to a head later in her story. Because that's how she accomplished her goals. Eventually, she kind of trained herself to lack empathy. She viewed other people more as tools to accomplish her goals than actual people. Time goes along, she's doing good. She does little raids in Shurima because she does live, I believe, in one of the Noxus-occupied regions of Shurima. So she lives there and goes on raids to find precious artifacts and magical powers with a well-renowned Tomb Raider, Sivir. So she doesn't just... I'll get to that when I get to that. But time passes along, and we all know what happens to Noxus. Borum Darkwill is overthrown in a coup and replaced with General Jericho Swain. Darius and the Faceless One as well, but with the aid of Darius and Draven, Swain, and Katarina, they're able to overthrow Borum Darkwill. And because Katarina is a du Couteau, the du Couteau family is placed at the head of the new Noxus. But Katarina and Cassiopeia's mother is not cool with that. I'm pretty sure the Black Rose wanted to keep Borum Darkwill in power, and they don't like Swain very much. So Cassiopeia's mom senses a secret war on the horizon and thinks, we need something. We need power. Oh, E button. Yes. Behold my skills, Zeri. I can do the exact same thing you do, except it's a different key. Wonderful. Not as wonderful. So Cass is dispatched to the heart of Shurima to find an ancient tomb that supposedly holds a weapon of godlike power that will probably turn the tide of this secret war that's on the horizon. So with the aid of a few Noxian soldiers, as well as bringing Sivir back, because she's kind of like a tour guide in a way, they stumble upon the tomb and they find the weapon. The Cassiopeia, knowing that Sivir might want to take it for herself, because Sivir's not the most honorable person, she stabs her in the back. Sivir practically dies. The tomb is opened, because that tomb holding that power also was holding Xerath and Vernekton, so they're released in the world. So all that is Cassiopeia's fault because she wanted a magic frisbee. Not only that, though, there was a tomb guardian in there, a big snake statue, maybe based on Naganeka, the Darkin from Legend of Runeterra, but I highly doubt that. In no world do I think Riot actually thought that far in advance. So the tomb guardian is awoken and it bites Cassiopeia. It injects her with its venom, and she collapses on the ground, writhing in pain. The soldiers have to carry her out back home. All the while, she's in horrible pain, but not just normal. She's not just a normal pain. She's transforming, turning into something new, some horrible creature. I have the quote with me here as well, so just keep in mind, as I'm reading this, pay attention to the phrasing they use, because this is important when we talk about her design. Gone was the brilliant and beautiful daughter of Serena du Couteau, replaced by a monstrous, slithering creature that sulked in the shadows, spitting poison and crushing stone as easily as glass. See this design? Keep that in mind. So she turned into a horrible snake abomination, as we're told in the story. Doesn't leave her quarters. She doesn't want to come out. She's ashamed of what she looks like. She is disgusted. Her beauty, her nobility, it's all gone because she's turned into some horrible monster. She can't possibly go outside. She has to stay in the shadows. She needs to hunt. She needs to feed for people. She has to go out at night because she can't. She's too ashamed to go out in the daylight. People might see her and call her a monster. It's all horrible and awful. She doesn't have full control of her powers. Like the petricite thing, or the okay. Oh god. That move that I totally landed. She has no control over that power yet. She doesn't know how to wield that. She did it by accident in the short story. But eventually she comes to grasp with maybe she can use these new powers to her advantage to help aid the Black Rose, or more specifically, aid herself. And that's pretty much where she's left off at this point. She had a short story, which I think I said earlier, where she can't control her powers, but it also emphasizes that the people she hunts for are like people that deserve it. So like a Red Hood kind of character where she only kills the people that deserve it the worst or are more evil than she is, which is weird. Like I don't. When did they establish she had a moral compass? Never. It just kind of pops up randomly. Like, oh yeah, Cass only hunts specific people now, huh? Speaking of being Red Hood but worse, I guess we can get onto her design now because she is kind of just Cassiopeia, but worse, isn't she? High-ranking elite from Noxus goes to another region to obtain some kind of magical power, becomes a monster girl, and now uses her dashing good looks to get what she wants. Like, that's Elise. But swap out Shadow Isles with Shurima. And I think Elise just does it better, especially because Elise's whole thing is about that she is a beautiful woman that can turn into a literal spider. That's kind of the creepy part. I don't think Elise is amazing, but at least you can see the concept. When it's described to you, you can kind of believe that. With Cassiopeia, horrible monster. Like, it's just a snake tail. You're in Noxus. Have you not heard of Astaya? There's plenty of animal people running around. Why are you any different? Is snake people just... Is snake people just unheard of? She's never heard of this character before, I guess. It just doesn't make any sense to me why. Maybe if she was in Demacia, but you tie it more into, like, she got magical power. She's ashamed that she's a mage now. That I can understand. But I can't, for any possible reason, imagine why obtaining powers, but, like, you're not even, like, ugly. She still looks beautiful. She has that snake eyes and maybe some fangs, but, like, there is significantly worse than that. Like, the beauty standards, my God. Cass, you're doing fine. You could have turned out much worse, especially considering the way they describe her. Like, it would make more sense if in the story they described her like, oh, she was slightly disfigured, and they kind of use that to her advantage. But no, they describe in the story that she is a horrific, terrifying, mutated abomination, and I'm looking at her like, no. No. She also has the problem, of course, that she's really old. I don't remember if in the very old lore she was supposed to be Shuriman and Noxus at the same time. Regardless, she looks entirely Shuriman. There is nothing Noxian about her. And you could argue that maybe that's because, well, she lives in Shurima. Why would she dress Noxian? Samira. Yeah, I same thing. And Samira was born in Shurima. Cass just lives there. It doesn't make any sense. It's weird because there's so many older champions like Amumu we talked about earlier in a previous episode. Like, he doesn't look like he comes from Shurima at all, except that he's a mummy. Aesthetically, there's nothing Shurima about him. Cass is so aesthetically Shurima, it's kind of crazy when this is the one instance where you want her to look less Shuriman. I think if you wanted to do Cassiopeia right, you need to go in one way or another. Because it's shown in the new story that she still uses So she uses her powers to kill people. And I get that there's champions like Evelyn and Elise who already use powers of seduction, but Cass is stuck in the middle. Pick a lane. Like, you have to commit either that she is a beautiful woman that has snake attributes and incorporate that into her story, that it's more that she gained these newfound powers and gained a bit of an ego. Maybe make her that Red Hood kind of character, that she gained a bit of a moral compass. I don't know how or why she did. That probably needs to be explained. Or you go the opposite direction, which I was obviously like more, but make her into a full-on, like, horrible snake creature. Like, there are such better Naga designs out there than Cassiopeia, and that's the other thing, is it wouldn't even matter as much if Cass wasn't just a Naga. Because there's a billion characters that look like Cassiopeia out there, especially with Medusa being the most obvious one. They even include the petrification thing just to knock it on the head. But again, Cassiopeia is a very old character. She was introduced back when League didn't really have to come up with any new archetypes. They just kind of made them. Like, Gangplank's the pirate one, Ash is the archer one. They didn't really get creative, so having just a Naga Medusa ripoff, yeah, I'm not surprised, but it doesn't mean that she probably shouldn't get a visual update, right? You're probably noticing with the animations that it actually swooshes back and forth properly, like as I turn, the tail moves accordingly. That's because they implemented the ASOL tech on her quite a while ago. Before, it was just a static animation that just snapped to whatever direction she was moving, like most League champions. It looked really bad. She looks a lot better now. I can't imagine what kind of technology they'd use nowadays if they gave her a visual update today, made her look even better. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think looking visually just really out of place really doesn't help as well, because pretty much all her skins are garbage. I feel like most people who play Cassiopeia could probably agree with that. Spirit Blossom is the best one, far and away. That's a much better match, I think, to her character than anything else of any other skins, like Siren, Cassiopeia, or Eternum, or the Jade one, or the Desert one. I don't even remember what that one's called. The one she's throwing a snake. Wow. I just realized I'm 11-1. I have not been paying attention. I feel like I should just get a Dark Seal. Is it too late to get a Dark Seal? It's probably too late to get a Dark Seal. I'm buying a Dark Seal. When you make a champion like Cassiopeia, it's the same with like Gwen or Warwick, right? They have such a distinguishing feature, but one that's really out of the ordinary. Gwen has giant scissors, Warwick has the big tubes on his back, and Cassiopeia has the snake tail. They have to be incorporated into every skin no matter what. So no matter what you do, you have to make a skin for Cassiopeia that she's a snake. That's why, ironically, I kind of like bewitching Cassiopeia, because it removes her snake tail for a bit, even if it's not that great, you know? But what other things could you replace the snake tail with? You could do a worm, I guess. Oh, wait, what about a legendary skin where the lower half's like a centipede instead of a snake? Or an eel, like it'd be like underwater. You can make it, you can make Space Groove, where the tail's like just a big lava lamp. You can make her one of those, what are they called? Little squishy, googly-eyed snake thingies. I don't know what they're called. You know, I can probably find an image by looking up squishy, googly-eyed snake thing, and I'll find it, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Making skins for her is just going to be a really big ordeal no matter what, because you have to get really creative for it to be anything unique at all. And I just don't feel like Riot really cares to do that at all, because Cassiopeia barely gets any skins, because like I said earlier, I don't think really anyone plays her. And as I'm playing, I think that's pure the reason that I didn't notice I was 12-1, because this character is just not very exciting. I think in the same way that I just don't find Zeri exciting, mashing the E button, it doesn't, like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I throw my Q, which there's no punishment for missing that, because it has like a 2-second cooldown. And I just throw my E button at them. Oh, watch this. E, E, what a combo. I feel like this is one of those characters that after playing one game, even though I'm doing really fed, and statistically, most people, when they get really fed games like this, they just want to play more. It excites them. The champion's fun. I'm not really, I feel bored. I think the only novel thing about Cassiopeia gameplay-wise is, well, there's two things. I think being able to dodge her ult by turning away from her is pretty cool. I like that, even if Medusa is way overplayed and It's not exactly original. It's a cool game mechanic to be able to counter the ult like that with smart timing. I like that a lot. I think it's also funny that she literally can't buy boots. I'm not sure why they did that, because look, I'm faster than Blitzcrank right now. I don't even have shoes and I'm faster than him. That doesn't make any sense. What's the downside? Like, I can't buy shoes? Cool, I'm faster than everyone else anyway. I just get an extra item slot for free? That's my passive? Okay. Also, how come it's just Cassiopeia? Like, why not Lilia or Nami or Rek'Sai or any other champion without feet? Like human feet. Why do they have to wear shoes? You telling me Cho'Gath's gonna be able to fit those shoes on him? Feet's like the size of Texas. I feel like I've said everything I need to say about Cassiopeia. She could do wonders with a visual update, I think. Again, pick a lane. Either make her this absolutely drop-dead, gorgeous woman who uses her good looks and cunning to get what she wants and got the power of the tomb, the power of the power of Shurima in the palm of her hand and could do more with her power. Or make her some horrible monstrous creature, like actual monstrous, not nice looking lady with a snake tail duct tape to her waist. One of the two I'd be fine with. It's just she's caught in the middle and doesn't really know what she wants to be. Even so with her lore, right? Where she's like, where did this moral compass come from? Like, there, I just killed a child. Moral compass? What for? That's kind of good, actually. We seem to be wrapping up the game. I've said pretty much everything I need to say about Cassiopeia. Excited to talk about Cho'Gath next week. Cho'Gath's a mess. I don't want to spoil nothing, but Cho'Gath holds a very special place in my heart, and I'm very excited to talk about him at length again for a second time. But wow, we ended the game, I think 18-1. Pretty good. So then, fellas, I'll see you next week with the big man, Cho'Gath. All right, goodbye.